Shakalak. Welcome to the Arsenal 101 Premier League Review Show Week 4. I'm joined by one of our usual panelists. Neil, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. After our last Premier League game, obviously I was sad. We made up in Europe, so I'm just hoping that we do the business tomorrow. It is tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, tomorrow. Hoping we do the business. So yeah, doing good. Apart from that, apart from the loss, I'm doing well.
Okay. Well, we will get to that. Did I hear you say that it's raining where you are?
No, it's not raining where I am. It's not raining.
Okay.
That was the feedback that you were getting.
Okay. Okay, so hopefully we might get joined. I don't know if we've got anybody else coming in today. But
Andy said he might. Andy's got Tony, so he said he might. Not Tony.
Okay, cool.
Tony, he's got tennis.
Tennis, yeah, that's his usual Friday night slot.
Yeah.
Emerson, welcome to the chat, my friend. I hope
hey, Emerson,
you are well.
Right.
Emerson doing his usual man about town this week, covering a lot of football, Women's Champions League, Men's Champions League, Under-19s Champions League. It's been a busy week for our young Roving reporter, Emerson. So, let's get into some of what we need to talk about. Let's talk about last week's fixtures.
I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't get a chance to watch many games.
Okay, so we might rely on our friend Emerson for some feedback on some of what was happening.
Emerson, jump online, Emerson. Jump online.
Let me see if I can get Emerson on.
Yeah, I just had a lot going on last weekend. I didn't even get to see the Liverpool game. I saw the highlights, but it's not the same when you see the highlights.
Yeah, well, I, unlike you, was able to watch my team. I was lucky enough to be able to actually be at the stadium. So I went to Tottenham last week and enjoyed the happy away day.
Yeah, you lot did all right. Spurs actually played all right in that game. I did see some of that game. They did play all right. It's not like it was they lay down. You lot got the last minute goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Goal late on, I should say. I shouldn't say last minute, late on. But yeah, it was a better game than the highlights I saw of our game. Not many people turned up. I think they were still. We were still all on the coach, on the bus, so they say. Yeah. But it's the same old. But I'll go into that in a bit.
Let's do that.
So what we're covering today, we're covering the league games and Champions League.
Yeah. I'm just gonna pull up the starter for 10, which will be the first set of fixtures on Saturday. Was there a Friday fixture?
No, I don't think there was.
Okay, so early morning kickoff saw Southampton at home to Man United. Man United, who are in rebuilding. Obviously, the board have allowed Ten Hag to stay. He's got some work to get through in order to how can we put it? Impress his employers.
Well, they're backing him at the moment, aren't they? They're backing him at the moment. And to be honest, teams like United, Chelsea, come on, man. We all know it's about money. They're doing what they can to make as much money. What's his name? Ineos. Can't remember his name. He's clearly looking at United for the future. He's not worried about today. He just wants to build this United football empire. Well, build it back. And that's all they're concentrating on. So I reckon even if Ten Hag had some real atrocious results, he'll be all right this season. He will be all right.
Yeah.
He's not. Put it this way, he's not in Allardyce's shoes at the moment.
Okay.
Not Allardyce. Not Allardyce. I keep saying Allardyce. Dyche. Sean Dyche.
Oh, Sean Dyche's shoes. Okay.
Yeah, those are shoes nobody wants.
So this game was at St Mary's Stadium. The game was set to light in the 35th minute by a player who's had a lot of derision of late, and that's Matthew de Ligt. Obviously, he was struggling before he came to Man United. And if I'm not mistaken, he's now scored 2 in 2. Did he score midweek?
Yeah, he has scored 2 in 2. He's doing okay at the moment. I mean, he had a lot of pressure. There was a lot of pressure put on his shoulders when he first came to United. But that's what happens. I mean, you can look at Rashford. Rashford's another one who had a lot of pressure from the United fans because he wasn't scoring. He's now starting to put 1 or 2 goals away. He's looking a lot better on the pitch. His confidence looks up. Unfortunately, I was hoping it would just carry on like that for at least half the season. Then they get, but we'll see.
I mean, as a footballer, I like Marcus Rashford, and I was kind of upset that he had gone through what he had gone through the previous season. And for me, it's always a good thing when players like him are back on form and they got their confidence back and they can start doing what they do well. It's unfortunate that, when certain players go off the boil and then you think, well, the league is worse off for not having him on his best form. It's interesting. If I were to compare, say, him with Jack Grealish, for instance, then it's different horses for courses because Man City have clearly gone out and bought a player who can fill the space where Jack Grealish operates and is far more effective, whereas Man United just didn't have anyone that they could play, and as a result were spoon-feeding Marcus Rashford. Welcome, Emerson. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. It might be a bit delayed, but I'm okay.
Good.
Emerson, you need to
busy week
because you got the light on the top of your head and we can't see your face.
Yeah, can you see? Because I'm in my. Is that better?
That's better.
Yeah. Just keep sitting backwards.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm okay. It's been a busy week, as you said during the intro, covering a lot of matches and things like that. Not watching them though. That's the main thing.
Okay.
But just been busy. Been busy.
So can I?
And when it's Champions League, week, go on.
So can I ask when? Did you manage to catch any of the early kickoff with Man United against Southampton at all?
Yes, I did. I did watch some of that last Saturday.
What did you think?
To me, it was just a one-sided match, boys against men against boys, because Southampton doesn't look like they're going to stay up whatsoever. They can concede goals left, right, and centre, despite they've got Ramsdale as their number one goalkeeper now. Been like that, they're going to concede goals left, right, and centre. The defence is all at sea. Midfield is all at sea. I'm not sure who their strikers are, but not to me. They ain't gonna last long in the Premiership. Been like that.
I think they'll go down.
All that money they've spent out.
I think they'll go down. But what they need, they just need. And I said, I think they'll go down, straight back down. But what they need confidence. They need a confidence booster. So they need to be one of the teams around them to try and kickstart their season, because when they play the top teams, they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle back. Not even the mid-table teams, they're going to struggle.
Yeah, I mean, Southampton are currently one of 2 teams, including Everton, who haven't won a point. They've got a goal difference of -7, which is second only to Everton, who are on -9. So yeah, they're already, contenders for that relegation spot. And even with Aaron Ramsdale, he'd have to be playing like David Raya for them to stand a chance. And we will talk about David Raya, of course, a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, as I was saying, I think it's nice to see Marcus Rashford getting back. That can only do his confidence some good, and it will bode well for him going forward, and hopefully for England going forward. And as I said, you know, look, he's a player. In the past, I've said I wouldn't mind having Marcus Rashford at Arsenal.
Same here.
You know, in the ideal world, he does really well this season, and he moves on and he goes somewhere else where he's less dangerous to us. He either joins us or he goes overseas and he makes his way. So yeah, good luck to Marcus. The other goal scorers on that game, of course, were Alejandro Garnacho in the 6th minute of injury time. Assist by.
I find that guy plays. I find he blows hot and cold.
Yeah,
really, he blows hot and cold.
He very much
plays well, or he plays bad. He doesn't play middle ground. Yeah, he doesn't play okay football. He plays really good, or he plays really bad.
Yeah, and you know, bless up 18 listening in the bath. I mean, yeah, he's not an automatic starter for Ten Hag. And he is very much a player who does, you know, show flashes of brilliance, but quite often goes missing in a game. So I think Ten Hag has an issue with him, and obviously it needs to develop him as a player. You know, he's already got his international call up. Congratulations to him. And as I said, he shows moments of excellence, but there's no consistency. And I think you kind of get that with young players. It's very rare that you get a young player who can be as consistent as, say, a Saka or a Cesc Fabregas or a Michael Owen, you know, Wayne Rooney. Guys that came into the league at 16, 17, and from the drop were instantly productive and consistently productive. So that's the secret. United have got a couple of others in that. Ahmad.
Yeah, Ahmad.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good player. But again, he can go missing. And he's got an error in him, which can lead to a goal. So, you know, it's good players at Manchester United, but they're not always on form. I mean, you know, the one that's probably the worst of that bunch is Anthony. Now, Anthony was a good player at Ajax. Yeah. You know, he was a good player at Ajax, but heaven knows what the hell has happened to him since then. Coming to
85 million as well, isn't it? So he's got that absolutely pressure on him as well. So I do. Do you know? I kind of feel sorry for him, because if he doesn't make it this season, what's going to happen to him? Yeah. But they use these players as bit part players anyway. And that's part of the problem as well. They come on in a game. They don't necessarily start a game. If they start a game, they come off quite early, and it's just like, nah, man. You these young players, you need to play them for full games. You need to give them confidence. But do you know what? We're talking about United, and United can go down as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, interesting thing that you say there, Neil. I mean, there are obviously some players whose remit seems to almost be that impact player off the bench. And one such player for Arsenal, for me, is Leandro Trossard. He doesn't do really well when he starts, but when he comes off the bench, he's an immediate impact player, and more often than not scores goals from off the bench. I think he scored more goals from off the bench last season than he did, and I think he racked up a hell of a lot of goals last season. Emerson, have you got some stats for me for Leandro Trossard?
Unfortunately, I haven't, because, as I said, I only just came on at the spare of the moment, thing like that. But as you said, Trossard is more an impact sub as you said, he doesn't play well when he's in the starting 11 and things like that. You can tell by his body language as well. Because sometimes when he doesn't get the ball, he looks thinking, I can't be bothered, something like that. But as soon as he comes on as a sub, different player whatsoever.
Well, you got to look at it this way: if he starts the game and he looks a little bit lost, it's because he's there, and I'm not saying he doesn't care, but it's just not there. But when he comes on as a sub, he's trying to make an impression to say, look, this is why you need to start me rather than use me as a sub. And the problem with impact players who come on, in their own mind, they believe they should be playing the 90 minutes. No matter what the manager says, no matter how they perform, when they come on for the 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever, as soon as they score, in their head, it's like, I should play 90 minutes. Why did they bring me on? Even though they know the philosophy of the club, they know how the club is going to be using them. After a while, they start thinking, no, I'm bigger than an impact player. And that's when they start, acting up and wanting to move on to another club that will give them the full 90 minutes.
Yeah. Bless up to Cranky Live in the place, ladies and gentlemen. If you aren't following him, a very good channel worth looking at. Might mean that you have to stay up late some nights, but you can also watch the replays of Cranky Live. Go look it up on YouTube, Cranky Live. Great content. For those Jamaicans in the house, Cranky is your guy for any news on the Jamaican football system and the games that they play in CONCACAF and so forth. Moving on then, gentlemen. The next game of the day was one of the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Brighton were at home to Ipswich. Probably would have picked Brighton to win this one against the newly promoted Ipswich, but Ipswich dug in and got a draw. Anyone want to say anything about that game?
That was bus, innit? That was bus on the field, man.
Yeah,
the thing is, Brighton aren't the only club. There's quite a few clubs that, if the opposition is playing free-flowing football and not digging in, they'll get their chances, they'll get their spaces, and they'll be able to score. But as soon as a team like Ipswich or even Forest put the bus on the bench on the pitch, the big teams struggle sometimes to score.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is Brighton are quite normally free flow scoring when they're at home. They're almost like a guarantee for a goal, at least one, when they're playing at home. So for them to be quietened by Ipswich, who must have been on severe rear guard duty because they faced, get this, 21 shots, but only 6 were on target.
Yeah.
That's an interesting stat to me.
Frustration, isn't it? You can tell Brighton got frustrated after a while.
But listen further. So they had 21 shots, 6 on target, 5 were off target. The remaining 10 shots were block shots by Ipswich. So, look, with 69% possession against 31%, 39 touches in the Ipswich penalty area compared to 8 by Ipswich. The goalkeeper for Ipswich only had to make 6 saves in the game, which kind of says that your defensive unit were extremely effective in this game. Welcome to the chat, Cranky. How are you, my friend?
You're mute.
Sound is off.
You're on mute, mate.
I was muting myself. I'm making noise in the background. How are you guys
doing? Good evening. Sorry, Cranky. How you doing, Cranky?
Yeah, Neil, get my name right. I'm a cranky person. Emerson, how you doing?
I'm fine. Yourself?
I'm doing well. No complaints. I'm doing well.
Okay.
So Emerson, did you get any of that game at all? The Brighton Ipswich?
Yeah, I saw some of it on Match of the Day. Then I watched it on Sky when they do like a quick run of the game. Basically, Brighton just pressed Ipswich and thing like that. They had chances to score. I think Matoma was the key culprit. I think he missed 2 in the space of like 10 seconds because he had a shot, I think, was blocked. And then I think the other one was blocked as well, just went wide of the post, something like that. So he's not blowing on hot cylinders like I thought he would be, because that was the team I was watching in pre-season. Of all the teams, that was the team I was watching for obvious reasons, thing like that. So thing like that, him and Minte, they're their main players. Although João Pedro is their main striker, although Welbeck can chip in the odd goal or two when he plays. But as I said, they should have buried Ipswich out of sight with the chances they had, and that cost them 2 points.
So, Cranky, you had one of your fledgling Jamaican potential players in Omari Hutchinson playing in this game. He didn't quite get to see the game out.
You're on mute again.
I don't think he's an interesting case, actually, in that he came and played for Jamaica a couple of times in friendlies, and then when it comes to cap time, he disappeared. So, I don't know how that works, actually. I think he's trying to manage I think he's trying to be on the fence as it comes to England, Jamaica. So we'll see what happens. I think he has some problem with the former Jamaica coach, but no, he's a good look. He was at Arsenal, right? Went to Chelsea, probably a money move, and then went to Ipswich on loan, and eventually, playing well. Got called up for the England under 21, pulled out. So we'll see how that works. He seems to be pulling out a lot of these things. But no, he's got talent. We can see how it works out after. He's got talent.
Yeah. So, I mean, any player like that, I recognized his talent when he was a youth at Arsenal. I do tend to keep my eye on those players. And even more so if they're going to play for a home nation in the Caribbean. I like to keep my eye on players who ply their trade in the Caribbean because my parents are both Caribbean. So, moving onwards, ladies and gentlemen, big up to DWTT in the house. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're well. The next fixture I want to talk about will be Crystal Palace 2, Leicester 2. This was played at Crystal Palace. Anyone got any thoughts on this game?
None from me.
Okay, so we had 2 goals for Crystal Palace from the French international Mateta. Looks like he's back to scoring again for Crystal Palace after his hiatus away at the Olympics, where again he was very active in scoring for France in the Olympics. I was one of his games where he scored 2 actually in the semi-final against Egypt. But Crystal Palace have got themselves a guy in Mateta who is now just scoring on a regular basis. He doesn't look particularly pretty or dynamic as a footballer, but the kid has an eye for goal, and he's extremely strong and physical. Guys, are we underestimating Joel Mateta?
No, I don't think we are. I mean, yeah, he's got a talent for scoring goals, and he comes up with the goals at the right time. I'd have to see him for another season or 2 at Crystal Palace before I can make a proper judgment on him. He's good. Don't get me wrong. He's good. He's got a lot of potential. He's going in the right direction, but he's at Palace. It would be interesting to see him. I'm not being disrespectful to Palace. I know Cranky's laughing, but players like that, I mean, what's his competition for his position?
Doesn't matter, Neil. It doesn't matter, because what he is doing proves he is actually one of the best strikers in the Premier League. If you look at
I'd love to see him
since Christmas last year, not like the guy has been scoring at an astronomical rate.
Yeah,
and he's up there.
I'd love to see him at a bigger club. I just love to see him at a bigger club.
I mean,
I think it will do him better.
If I was to say compare him to Ivan Toney, he doesn't take penalties, but he scores more goals than Ivan Toney. And he's probably just as much of a menace as a hold-up man, as someone like Ivan Toney. Cranky?
I think Neil makes a good point about time, right? So when he first came in, he was under Roy, right? Wasn't working for him. He was playing with the other kid from France who was playing in Scotland and hasn't really worked out. And it took him a while to get his feet set, right? It appears. So ever since, was it about 6 months ago, he's been scoring and playing really well. Yeah. The question is it sustainable? So we have to see more of it. And also, as Neil sort of suggested, I don't think it's about being a better team. I think it's about being a team where you can get service.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes we keep saying better team like a Man City, Liverpool. It doesn't have to be. Are you getting service from Eze? Are you getting service from the other midfielders and the wingers to allow you to score? Yeah, now he has Nketiah, which is going to be interesting. Yeah. Because I think Nketiah provides something different, right? Do they play two up front? But Nketiah is versatile enough to play wide. He's playing wide for Palace now, in a sense.
He started. So
yeah, he started wide and then they put him in the middle a little bit. So we'll see how that works out. Yeah.
Interesting front three: Eze, Nketiah, and Mateta.
Yeah.
Right. And Eze we're playing this unique pseudo left winger nowadays. Villa's been doing it. Not a true left winger. So Villa has Ramsey out there. They don't have a left winger playing left wing anymore. Since Diaby left, we could have Bailey and Diaby. They don't no longer have that. Yeah. We're seeing that now with teams like Palace, actually, which is Nketiah is not a true winger, but he has centre forward capability. So how will that work going forward?
Isn't that the evolution of football now? Anyway, you get a lot of players who are playing in those sort of positions that you wouldn't normally see them play in.
Yeah, but it goes contrary to what Pep does, right? Which is I want to spread the field as wide as possible.
Yeah.
To give me as many space as possible so I can play the ball between the lines, right? If I have these people are coming in, I narrow the field.
Yeah.
But people are saying football is not one-dimensional anymore. We can experiment and see what works.
Yeah.
Cool. Any thoughts on that, Emerson?
Well, as I said, I don't follow Crystal Palace all that much regarding, their players in a way like that. So I'm not really interested. With Crystal Palace.
I do follow Palace. Yeah, go ahead, Emerson.
I don't have to go. They've got a good strike force now. They've got Nketiah now, something like that. Yeah. So hopefully that should give them a boost and let them finish like mid-table like they normally do, and we'll see what position they finish as well, and we'll see who's going to be their highest goal scorer out the.
Interestingly, in that game, Leicester went 2-0 up.
Yep.
Goals through Jamie Vardy and Mavididi. And both assists were by Ndidi. So there's a lot of Diddies going on in Leicester. And we're in the age of no Diddy.
Yeah.
we're in the age of no Diddy, but Leicester have got two of them.
Yeah.
Well, and Diddy used to be a 6, wasn't he? No, he's a 10. No, he's a 10. Which is how does the 6 who looked like he couldn't score a goal save his life becomes a 10? I don't get that.
And you remember when we actually were sort of looking at him?
Yeah, a good 6 too. Good 6, a lot of legs and cover a lot of gaps. Yeah. It's amazing how I think players are more versatile than we give them credit for sometimes. Yeah. Joe Linton, Iwobi, and Didi, all these players have changed position and are effective.
Yeah, good shout.
This is how they've evolved, though, isn't it? And how the managers kind of change how they play as well, and it's working for some of the players.
Yeah. Apollo says Solanke as well. Although I'm not sure he's changed position.
I'm not. I thought he was always a centre forward, right? Was that Liverpool? Where was he at Liverpool, Neil?
He was actually a forward. He was a forward. He didn't get into the team that much, to be honest. He played more sort of cup games and stuff. But he was a forward for us.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, Emerson's dropped out. Connection issues.
Yeah. Can I just say that Leicester, I do believe that Leicester be one of the teams that will actually stay up.
Okay.
Stay up where?
Well, if Everton are going to carry on the way they're playing, then one of the three promoted teams is definitely staying up.
Everton can't buy a win right now.
But they are scoring goals, though, which is something they can't do, well, right? The Irish team are not playing defense. They've scored 4 goals in the last 2 games, haven't they?
Yeah, but listen. There's no point scoring goals if you're going to concede more.
Because they keep having the two center half who can play football, and they keep putting them in there. They have Keane in there who can play. Keane is awful. How does he ever get to start for Everton? And he keeps playing him every week, and he keeps making mistakes.
Yeah, and the thing is, I still can't believe they got rid of is it Onana? I can't say his name now.
Yeah. Well, they had to. They had to for FFP purposes.
Yeah, but the thing is,
they had no choice. 50 million, given their financial situation, they had to get rid of him. They had to get rid of him.
He did a lot for them last season, and they're clearly suffering right now.
Well, you have a choice. You lose points, or you sell the player and get some money in.
What lose points or not gain any points? Is that the choice?
Yeah. Either way, they're in trouble. No, I think they have enough to stay up. I think Leicester will struggle actually.
Yeah. So let's talk about the next game, which was Fulham 1, West Ham 1. A lot of draws. So we've gone 3 draws so far on Saturday afternoon fixtures. This was a game that saw Raul Jimenez score in the 24th minute, with an equaliser coming in the 5th minute of overtime by Danny Ings, of all people.
Is he still playing?
Yeah.
Finally, he's scoring.
Yeah. So, a name from the past. But, he came off the bench for Alvarez on the 82nd minute, and he went on to score the equaliser.
Yeah.
A game in which Emil Smith-Rowe assisted. So, good game for Smith-Rowe.
He's been creating chances and playing. He's been playing well. He hasn't been playing every night, all 90 minutes, but he's been playing well.
I think for some of those players, that's what they actually needed. They actually needed to get away from their teams, play for another team, because when it's hard to get into the team that you currently play for, sometimes, if you want to kickstart your own career and not think about the club that you were playing for, you have to go. You have to go.
This happens in sports a lot, right? You see that in every sport, whether it's NFL, basketball, whatever it is. You're behind a great player. You're a very good player, and you sit there sometimes and rot. And I always thought, what are you thinking? I know your team is maybe, if you're at City, for example, they're a great team, but you ain't going to show anybody how great you are by sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
So, but he's a very good player, actually. Doesn't really have a position. He's like a Havertz, for example. Like Havertz and Smith-Rowe don't really have a position in the field. Like they can say, no, Havertz a center forward or Smith-Rowe is a 10. They really don't, in a sense, but they're very good footballers. Yeah. And the question is, he probably played a 10 for or the 8 for Fulham, and he'll do well. 2 years ago he scored double-figure goals for us.
Yeah, you look at Cole Palmer. Yeah.
Well, he's a good. Well, see, he was very young still, right? So I guess he's been treated like a Foden.
He was still really good, and he's come to Chelsea now. He's their best player.
Yeah. So you remember he played against us in the Shield, Community Shield.
Yeah.
I think he had scored in that game, and he probably said to himself, "I'm not as patient as Foden is. I'm not staying here.
Yeah.
I'm out of here."
But
I know my worth, huh?
He made the right move. Well, I don't know if Chelsea was the right move, and the only reason why I say that is because we know Chelsea is the one club that is treating football as a business first, second, and third, and maybe football afterwards.
I think for him it was the right move, because you don't know about Pep. You don't know about Pep, right? Pep is so unpredictable when it comes to these things. That's why Sancho left, right? They're not patient. Kids are not patient anymore. It was like Emonero will do for Arsenal.
Yeah,
you don't play me after a few years, I'm out.
Yeah, I agree. It was the right move for him to go, leave City. But I kind of like looking at Chelsea now and the way they're carrying on with their business. That might not have been the right move for him.
Well, no, he's the star. Think about it.
No, he's a star.
He's the star.
He's the star. But
he would be like Lewis at Man City, just working his way into the team at this point.
But as soon as his value goes up to 200 million, he's gone.
Yeah, but he can go to like a Real Madrid, for example.
Yeah,
right? Better weather than Man City, than Manchester.
Yeah.
Cool.
He can top up his tan.
Yes.
So let's move on.
No, let's not.
Let's move on.
I think this is a game we should talk about, Neil. We should talk about this, Neil. What happened, Neil? What happened?
What happened, Neil?
Cry on our
What-
shoulders. Cry on our shoulders. Cry on our shoulders. What happened?
It's the same old thing. It's the same old thing that I say to you guys every season. The reason why I can't see Liverpool winning the league is because we drop points to teams that we shouldn't be dropping points to. Look, 3 out of 3, we looked pretty good in those games. And then we came against Forest. And everybody looked poor on our side. Not to take anything away from Forest, because they plugged away, they put the bus on the pitch, and they did well. They did well. I'm not saying that they didn't do well, but we should have done better. We should have put away our chances. I mean, Saladin, none of that. I'm going to start ranting, so I'm not going to. We just had a lot of players who just did not turn up. I think they were actually in Forest's bus on the pitch. That's where they were for most of the game.
So would you say it's a master stroke because you're not giving Forest any credit? Wasn't the master stroke by them? I scored and lock it down and close shot.
No. Forest did, as I said, I'm not taking anything away from Forest, right? But as a Liverpool fan, we should have done better. We do it season in, season out. We go against teams that aren't necessarily, if Forest were on top form and they had won their first 3 games and they came against us and they beat us, I would say, do you know what? They deserved it because they played really, really well.
Right.
Yeah? But in that particular game, after we had 3 straight wins, it was a completely different team. Look at us in Europe. We played so much better in Europe. We took our chances. Yeah, and that's why you've got to question yourself, well, what happened in that game? Yeah, it makes that game look even worse to Liverpool fans, because we know we've got the team, the players, the individuals who should not be losing to a team like Forest.
Palace has 8 points, right? They're in 7th place. They're going for Europe.
Stop it!
I'm gonna say this about
Listen,
Palace, though,
here's
because
what
Palace
I
get a lot
wanna-
of grief when they first came up, right? The Greek went out and spent over £100 million. People give him grief, and he did it 2 years in a row, and churned players like Chelsea did. He churned players like Chelsea, and it's working a little bit better.
I mean, the thing I'm going to say, right, is I looked at the stats for the Brighton game. So they drew 0-0 with 69% possession. Well, Liverpool had 69% possession. And anyone in the world would turn around and say Liverpool have got a much better strike force than Brighton.
Forest.
Although Brighton are no scrubs. But Liverpool only managed 14 shots with
That's what I'm
5 on target. So
That's
they
what I'm
had
saying.
a full 7 shots less than Brighton on their home turf, which is normally invincible. And they only managed 5 shots with 3 shots against.
As I said, they were sitting on Forest's bench, coach. That's where they were. All the
I
players.
mean, it's not like, normally we expect Liverpool to be creating a hell of a lot of opportunities at the top end of the pitch. What went wrong, Neil?
Everything.
I think Liverpool
who's
is
not
good
doing
where-
what they normally do?
Liverpool's good against people who play football. If you're not playing football, Liverpool will struggle a little bit.
I was gonna say the one thing. If you watch Liverpool's games, right, our worst games are always against the bottom teams. And the reason why I say they were against the bottom teams, because the bottom teams, they set out to defend. Yeah, we still haven't cracked that nut yet. Yeah, any team that puts all their players behind the ball and defends like hell, we struggle. We always struggle. When a team is free flowing, there's gaps at the back. We can exploit those. We have fast players. We have creative players. We can always exploit that. But when we've got a wall of 10 men, we struggle. It happens every season. You watch the games.
But the thing is,
So Neil, you're going to struggle against Arsenal then, because it's a wall of 10 men.
No. Do you know we will? Any team who plays like that, and it's normally the bottom teams that play like that because they fear the top teams.
It's
Yeah.
not only
So let me ask
tell
you a
you.
question, Neil. What's going on with Darwin Núñez? Because if I'm being honest, that game looked like it needed Darwin Núñez.
Do you know? I've got to put that down to Slot. Slot is still trying to find his best team. He's still trying to find his best way of playing. What he's trying to do is trying to take Klopp's team and he's trying to fix where he thinks the problems are. And unfortunately, the players like Núñez are going to suffer because until until Slot decides this is how I'm going to play, I'm happy with the team, and this is what I want. He will suffer. Nunes will be one of the players that will suffer.
Okay.
Well, my understanding in the reading article today is that the different it's between him and Jota, and Jota is scoring and he's not. And Jota hasn't scored the last 3 games, I guess, or whatever the number is. But it's between him and Jota, and they were asking the question, and he's basically saying like Man U coach Ten Hag would say, you got to show me in training, right?
Yeah.
And Nunes keep missing goals, and when you keep missing goals in center forward, you're gonna struggle to get game time.
But to be honest, come on, gents, right? You look at when Nunes first came in, right? It was Nunes versus Haaland, right? That's what you were saying, yeah. And when you look at the chances Haaland takes, and you look at the chances that Nunes gets, if that was Haaland, do you know how many goals he would have scored more if he had Nunes' chances?
Yeah,
I like Nunes, by the way.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Nunes. I don't like him. I think he's a good player, but unfortunately, right now, it's not clicking for him, and it hasn't clicked for him for a long while.
Yeah,
he
need a change of scenery.
Yeah, he was brought in for his speed and because he can score goals. Yeah, we see the speed, but we don't see the goals. We see more misses than score.
We see him hit the upright and the bar so often. It's ridiculous.
Listen, you know how difficult it is to try and hit a post. Yeah,
maybe he's trying to be too precise. Maybe he should just go for the center of the goal and see what happens.
But that's not the answer, is it, Cranky? We know that.
But it has to be. So, Tony, if I'm trying to hit the corner exactly and it's not working, then I tinker with my swing. It's like a golfer.
You know who's hitting the center of the goal?
Who?
Martinelli.
Which center which goal? No. You're talking about field goal.
He says a back pass.
No. Field goal you're talking about. Field goal. We're not talking about field goal. We're not talking about football. You're talking about field goal. He ain't no center, no goal. Like the 2 shots the other day were field goals. The 2 shots were field goals. You go look at those shots against Atalanta. They're field goals. He ain't no middle goal.
He needed to be further back when he took the shots. That's what he.
No. He needed to lean over the ball, Neil. Stop saying that, Neil. Lean over the ball. Lean over the ball. You know, further back, Neil. Martinelli has scored in 16 games and he still starts. I have no idea how that works. I love his defense, by the way, but offensively, he's not there.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Man City at home, winners 2-1 against Brentford. I kind of expected Man City in this game to score at minimum 3 goals. But the 2-1, they'll take that, but it wasn't easy. Anyone got any thoughts on this game?
Brentford is not an easy team, not a team that rolls over, you know. As we know, Brentford can give the top teams some serious problems and serious things to think about. And that's what they did in that game.
And they lost Whistle, right? They lost Whistle.
That's what I'm going to say. Even with Whistle missing, they still play well.
So what's the biggest takeaway from the Man City game?
They're not as strong as people think they are.
No, it gives other teams hopes.
Yeah.
You give our team hope. You sit there thinking, hey, Inter, Brentford, there's a possibility here.
And
before
you know
be just like
lucky for you guys, somebody limped off in that game as well, didn't he?
Absolutely.
I heard he may play though, because Guardiola playing cute. He say he may play.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll risk it because we're still kind of at the beginning of the season, plenty of games to go. I don't think he's going to risk it.
Yeah, he's showing his age too. He's getting injured regularly in the last 3 seasons. So he's showing his age.
Yeah. Guardiola Pep now has to start managing De Bruyne.
He's been managing him, but you can't manage injuries 24/7.
No point.
But you're right, though. You're right. You got to use him probably more sparingly because he has enough players to do that, actually.
Yeah.
Look at his bench the other day. Look at our bench at 5 juniors, and he had Nunes, and he had Doku, and Foden. His bench was loaded. Kovacic, his bench was loaded, and we have 5 academy players.
Yeah.
Although he has been starting some youngsters, though he's got
Lewis starts,
Rico Lewis,
Savinho,
but he's also now injured.
Those players are City future players, and he's clearly trying to give them more game time and stuff like that because sooner or later he's going to have to start relying more on those players.
Yeah, he rested Foden for the game. So, any other thoughts on the result there?
Yeah, unfortunately.
No, I mean, I was hoping to get a draw because Brentford scored first. You hope to get a draw, at least draw, but you know how that works with the machine up front.
I kind of think when you score that early against Man City, that can only bode badly.
Yeah. It's like, really? It's like punching some boxer who loves taking punches.
That's
Like,
what you
really?
do. You wake them up.
Yeah, make me upset. Make me
You
upset.
wake them up. You know what they say about poking a bear when it's sleeping? You know, you don't do it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Neil, exactly. Okay, probably the most entertaining game. Aston Villa 3, Everton
That's
2.
the best game of the weekend.
Yeah, talk to me, Neil.
Do you know what? I want Everton to go down. The 2 seasons they've escaped it. 2 seasons they've been good enough not to go down, but I want them to go down. I've got a colleague who's an Everton season ticket holder, and I want them to go down. But yeah, to be honest, looking at that game, I actually thought Everton were going to cruise that game, but Villa showed some real resilience. And scoring those last-minute goals, oh my days, that was so much fun. So much fun.
So 2 from Ollie Watkins, and then a peach of a goal from John Duran.
That was a goal,
Bertram, I know you love that kind of goal, Bertram. What was your thoughts?
Well, I think Everton, Calvert-Lewin has a problem. Confidence is no longer there. He had a chance to put him up 3-1, and he had a ball where he's in with the keeper, and he take forever to make a decision, and got dispossessed by Konsa, right? Yeah. Otherwise, they're up 3-1. It's maybe a different game. Villa's a good team, but they've stumbled a little bit at the beginning of the season. I mean, we beat them. They could have easily lost this game. They did well in Europe. That goal, first of all, he was supposed to be at West Ham. Then he was supposed to be someplace else. Was it West Ham and Chelsea? All these teams wanted him, and he stayed at Villa because he's behind Watkins. That goal was ridiculous. Like, it's not like I in the left corner and I go around my man and curve it in the top corner. He picked it up and said, "Okay, let me just do something." And the keeper is there. Pickford is there and can't do anything about it from 35 yards. That's ridiculous. And he's done that a couple of times now. Actually, it's not the first time. Not exactly the same goal, but he's done that a couple of times.
All Pickford could do was do what he's been doing the whole of the season, picking the ball out of the back of the net.
Yeah, he couldn't say that though. Even if he tried, that ball was kicked with venom.
Yeah,
with venom in there. Yeah, he couldn't say that. Yeah,
he should have just got his deck chair out and just watched it go in. That's what he should have done.
My other thing of that goal though is that the question is, given where it was shot from, could he have been a little more to the right for the upright? But that's been nitpicky because that ball was hit with venom. Even if it's standing there under the goal, he probably still would not save it.
Yeah,
it was kicked so hard. But no, the kid has ability, and the question is, he's not going to be a Villa next year. I don't think, because he will not want to play with Ian Watkins for that long, unless they play 2 forwards. As they play 2 center forwards. But no, it was a good game. I liked the game. I was so disappointed in Calvert-Lewin, though. I mean, he had a couple of really good chances. I mean, he did score 1 goal, but the one where he got dispossessed, you're like, wow.
Yeah, the thing with Lewin is he's either missing chances like that or he's injured. He's not had 2 seasons. It's not been great for him past couple seasons.
I think he should just go take up the modeling career. Look like he's probably he won't get injured doing that. He will not get injured modeling. I don't think. I hope not. I hope the runway won't hurt him.
The same way Tony was talking about Rashford. And I agree with what you were saying about Rashford. It's nice to see Calvert-Lewin actually do some good and actually get the rub of the form, because he does deserve it.
But he was at England international at one point, wasn't he? He was ahead of all the Watkins and the Tony and all of them.
Yeah.
Then he started getting a series of injuries, and he's gone south since.
That's what I'm saying. He deserves that luck now. Whereas he's going to be playing well, he's going to be taking his, and he's going to look good.
I'll be honest. I can see Everton going down as you wish, Neil. I don't think they'll stay up this year, and then we'll start seeing the fallout of players making a move. The one that I'll be interested to see.
They've already started, isn't it? They've already lost two of their key players.
Yeah.
I mean, Ding. I can't say his name now.
Digny.
Yeah.
Lucas,
Luca Digne.
And Onana. Two of their better players they've jumped ship, innit?
Yeah.
But Luca was the year before, right?
Onana he was the year before. He was still at the time he left. I kind of thought, well, why are you letting this guy go?
No, he didn't get along with Benitez, wasn't it? Was it Benitez or something? He didn't get along with the coach.
Nobody gets on with Benitez.
He didn't get along with Benitez, so he got rid of him. Now Everton is as a will they go down? I'm not sure they would go down, but they have a tough time staying up. I'll put it that way.
Do you know, like it pains me to say it, but I actually believe that they will stay up. I don't want them. I want them to go down.
All right, we shall see. We shall see. Let's move on, gents. So, Bournemouth at home lost 1-0 to Chelsea. Anyone seen that one? Goal by Christian Nkunku.
It was like Arsenal against Atalanta. You could have slept and woke up and slept and woke up and still be struggling with the game. It was that bore fest. It's a bore fest. They scored and Nkunku created something out of nothing, frankly. So they scored that goal. Sancho played a really good ball into him. He turned on defender and scored. Apart from that, it just wasn't the best game.
Any players catch your eye? Outstanding players.
Sancho, actually. Strangely enough, Sancho did. I thought he looked really impressive coming on. He's not a behind player, right? He has to have the ball at his feet and play in front. So when he's on the ball, he was playing like he plays at Dortmund. I'm on the ball. I'm touching the ball a lot. I'm moving it. I'm having fun. At Man U, you can't play like a Rashford. He's just trying to go down the wing. That's not what he does. He was really good between the lines, actually. Really good in tight spaces, making those short 1-2 passes. He was really good in the game.
Okay.
And he only played one half, actually. He didn't play the first half. So, yeah.
Cool.
And he came on for Neto, which I was surprised about. So maybe replace Neto. I don't know. We wanted Neto.
I mean, let's be honest. Chelsea have got a plethora of players of high quality. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how Maresca utilizes that huge squad that he has, and who will be his favourites.
He only said that he wants to work with 22. Is it 22 he said that he wanted to work with?
He's only saying that because Chilwell is now back in working with him, so he's talking nonsense. You say that so you can force the other players out. When they don't go out, what do you do with them? Emerson says the yellow card's part of the game. Yeah, it was 14 yellow cards in that game,
Yeah, that was a record, wasn't it? That was a new season.
Yeah. He likes to give yellow cards. What's his name? I forgot his name. I like to give yellow cards. 14 in one game and no red card. But at least there were no reds.
That's a record, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Then he was the fourth official the next week. He's gonna be the fourth official this weekend, actually. So take him out the firing line.
So yeah, good game. Very exciting. What about for Bournemouth? I mean, they played their part in that.
Semenyo is a good player, but I can't say they had any. Semenyo was the one player who looked dangerous. I didn't think a lot of the other players. Anthony Taylor, right? Emerson. I didn't think there were any players who looked exceptional. Actually, Semenyo's been playing good for them.
Okay, let's move on. So we go to the Sunday game, and we start off with wrong Sunday.
I was gonna say Chelsea played 2 days in a row.
Yeah. So the first game was, of course, Tottenham at Arsenal. Tottenham at home to Arsenal. Game, as I said, that I was in attendance at, and with players not able to play, it was going to be a difficult afternoon for us. And so it proved to be, but the Arsenal back five were absolutely superb. Saliba, I mean, every single one of them, to be honest, from Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Jurriën Timber, and Thomas Partey in front were superb. Just kept Tottenham at arm's length, kept them away from anything close in. Of course, they did have some chances, which you expect them to do, but Arsenal dealt with it quite well, and then went on to hit them with the sucker punch, which was the set piece, which looks like Spurs have got huge problems with set pieces. Famously, Ange Postecoglou said that he's not really that worried about set pieces. Well, they seem to be his undoing right now. And I've heard quite a few Tottenham fans voicing their displeasure at their inability to defend from set pieces. Guys, what were your thoughts on this game?
You want to go, Neil?
I didn't watch it. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
So when you start talking about team, you're talking about the defense, and it's Arsenal. I have concerns, right? So people think that how Cranky is so critical. When you start talking about a team and you start with their defense and their goalkeeper, bless up Victor, I have concerns. And when you play against Spurs and you have 36% possession, and it's supposed to be a possession-based team, you only have two people out. It was Rice and Odegaard. Jorginho has played a lot of football for us. So has Havertz, so has Trossard, so has all these players. 36% possession. And this misconception that, we played this mid-block or low block because it's by design. Stop the nonsense. I hate when people start doing that. Rice said it good against Atalanta. Sometimes teams force you to play how you play.
Yep.
Players want to play football, especially possession plays football. They want to play football. They don't want to sit down on low block. But what we're not doing, actually, which is interesting, is 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, we would press you hard man-to-man, right? Or closing the gap. What we're doing now, we don't have the ball, we drop deep. We drop deep and say, come on to us. We're going to counter you. Counter you with who? Martinelli alone, who's not scoring? Saka is not really truly a counter player per se. He has the speed, he has skill, he's a smart player. Havertz is not quick enough to be getting behind defenses on a regular basis. Who can counter with? To get behind you, to pressure you. Look at Inter versus Man City the other day. They kept the two forwards up front, Turan and the other forward up front, right? They say, you know what? Attack us. When you lose the ball, you got to come play some defense. And then we're going to get behind. And they could have beaten Man City easily if they took their chances. Turan was very wasteful. We played Atalanta, and we made them look like they're Barcelona in the old days and like City. That's true. And people going to say, well, they won the Europa League against, yes, and they beat a good team 3-0. We agree with all of that. They got 4-0 the week before against Juventus, right? We're making these teams look like they're the best possession team. We made Wolves look like that the previous, when we beat Wolves 2-0 or 2-1, whatever beat them. We've got to make brilliant saves against Wolves. We make brilliant saves against Villa. We should be down 2-0 against Villa. People are not concerned. What games are you people watching? So I sit there thinking, maybe you're too miserable, cranky, and you're just cranky about these things. But the Arsenal I know when Arteta came 2 years ago, we dominate possession. We play on the halfway line. We say, come beat us. We do like City does. You come get behind us because I have two horses in the middle. You can't get behind them. We're not going deep. I understand Liverpool did it a little bit when Klopp came. They were all gung-ho, but they weren't going full deep and play low block football. What they would do is drop a little bit more and don't press selectively, not press 24/7. We're not doing that. So I'm concerned against City because we ain't offering nothing offensively. We scored 6 goals. Haaland scored more goals than we have scored this season. We're not scoring like what we should be doing. And against Atalanta, we looked out of sorts with a good team. So I don't know what we're playing this way because we have the players on the field. Partey's a little bit older, a little bit slower. We understand that. Rice doesn't drive. I'll give you an example in the game. My last point is this. Inter against Man City. Their CDM, what's his name? Who says better than Rodri? Forgot his name. A ball came into the box. He dropped his shoulder and left 3 Man City players scrambling. And then Man City struggling up the field. That's what you need from your CDM. Put pressure on the opposition. When you drop my shoulder, I get rid of 3-4 players because they're pressing me. I'm now behind you and you got to scramble. We don't have that anymore. Because Partey seems like he can't do it anymore. And Declan Rice is Declan Rice. He's a defender.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned Thomas Partey because you and I have probably been in agreement in relation to our feelings about Thomas Partey being easily the most important player on the team. This season is interesting for him because it is the last year of his contract. You've highlighted that, look, the age isn't on the good side for him. He is clearly older than the years that are shown on his passport. But interestingly, he started 5 games in a row, which he has never done for Arsenal at the start of any season. So it shows that his levels of fitness are better than they've been in previous seasons, because by this time in any other season...
Now, Tony started 7 games in a row. He played 2 for Ghana.
Yeah, there you go.
7 games in a row.
But the interesting thing is, he actually looked good for Ghana, whereas for Arsenal, I think he's been rather shaky.
Yeah, and you wonder, is it the Rice Party combination doesn't work? Because it worked with Xhaka. Because what Xhaka give you, the Rice doesn't give you is that pass between the line, that long pass across the field, that left foot. Rice give you none of that. So the defense will never scramble against Rice. You can get to 7-yard pass. You're not getting a 25-yard pass to then stretch the field and have the defense scrambling. You don't get that from Rice.
Yeah.
So Rice probably should play the 6 or don't play anywhere.
I kind of feel like Rice needs to be put in a 6 role, and he needs to start replicating some of the stuff that you see Partey being capable of doing in terms of splitting defenses, in terms of progressing the ball through the lines. And he needs to also look at Jorginho in the way that he can deliver footballs and control the game from midfield. He's got the physicality to do both their roles, but he's not doing it right now. For me, that higher role up the pitch is the role that we will see Mikel Merino taking on at some point in time.
Yeah, the problem with Jorginho is you watch the game against Spurs. Father time is not helpful. Jorginho looked out of sorts in terms of his athleticism. When he gets the ball and have time, yeah, it looks good. Yeah. But look when he's getting pressured, because Tottenham pressure is unrelenting. Right? They're pressuring you up the field. They're taking risks. There's something get beaten sometimes. And I think I want to say this about Tottenham before the Arsenal discussion. People are killing the manager. Give them time, people. I watched them against Newcastle. They battered Newcastle. Like battered, and they lost the game because of the counter, right? They gave us a hard time. They're playing good football. They're just not scoring. They bought a 65 million center forward. Don't know why it's not working. But I think Tottenham's going to be better than people think they are.
I agree with you. 0-0 slice. I think it's going to be a draw. I think tomorrow's game will be against City will be a draw.
Thanks for your comment, 0-0 slice. Yumi, Rice is a defender first, midfielder second.
Yeah.
He doesn't think like an Arsenal midfielder. So, yeah, I mean, you've seen something in Rice that is missing. And I see the same, I think he's a great CDM, his ability to intercept. He's got a fantastic engine. I look at the penalty, for instance, that Raya saved yesterday. Who was the one that cleared that ball when Raya made the save? Declan Rice. He's very much a guy who knows where to be in the defensive unit. And
was it Declan Rice? I thought it was Havertz. Was it Rice?
No, it was Rice.
Okay.
So I think he's a very useful player, but as I said, I think he needs to be learning, playing with Jorginho and Partey week in, week out. I want to see the elements of their game rub off on him, because it's, in my estimation, there's no doubt that he will be the 6 of the future. And obviously, if he can improve his game in those aspects, that only works well for England. DWTT says, I never wanted to see both Partey and Jorginho start a game together. They are one player to me. Partey can't play Sunday, else I'll be behind the couch.
No, Partey has to play Sunday.
Partey, to me, has to play.
Has to play Sunday.
DWTT also says, Rice can't make a line-splitting pass. He hesitates before making forward passes, and the momentum is lost.
I think Rice deficiencies are manifesting themselves as we play more and more. It's so obvious. Partey just doesn't make the first. People don't realize that Partey is always looking, what's the best pass in this situation? That's why sometimes when you take risks, it's going to not look good and not going to work out, and people give you a hard time. He's not just looking for the safe 5-yard pass. He'll do a look-away pass. He'll look between the lines. If it's not there, then he'll take the safer option. Rice just make the safe option 95% of the time.
And the thing is, you have to be a kind of player that knows what position to take up. So when Thomas Partey gets the ball, more often than not, Odegaard knows where to go, because Thomas Partey will find him.
Yeah.
But we don't get the same thing with Declan Rice. We're not seeing that natural progression in his game where he could operate in a zone, receive the ball quickly, and then do something from the 10 or even the 8.
Right now, are you asking too much from Declan Rice or expecting too much from Declan Rice? because he's
Could
not that
be.
type of player.
Could be, but I think the answer is to me is Mikel Merino, because I think he will unlock a lot of what we're looking to try and do in the final third of the pitch.
Yeah, but the money you spent on Rice, that's not going to happen for now, is it? Really?
Look, we've seen already that money don't really make the difference, because look at Jack Grealish. How much did Man City pay
Yeah,
for him?
no. When I say money spent, I mean if Arsenal spend money on a player like that, they're going to play him rather than not play him.
Yeah, but he's a good player.
And I'm not saying he's not. I'm just
He
saying,
can play. What he can do is he can play a good role in the six.
yeah.
But
Yeah, look, he has the legs. He has the legs to play the
Partey.
six, right? He has the legs to play the six. The problem is he can only do the defensive element of it. He's not giving you anything offensively in terms of ball over the top, ball between the lines, cute balls that Rodri played behind the first line of defense. He's not doing that.
I mean, the thing is,
down to your manager to change the way he plays, right?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Thomas Partey can't play every game, so it's gonna need Declan Rice to fill in certain games, and he just has to be able to start looking at what Thomas does and trying to implement some of that into his game. And if he's got Merino and Odegaard ahead of him, that should make his job easier. He should look up the field and see wide left. I can ping a 30-yard ball out to Martinelli on the touchline. Wide right, Saka on the touchline, and then two players in the middle, and sometimes even dropping Havertz.
Hey Tony, if that was the case, you and I would be pros. That's not how it works, Tony. It's not how it works, Tony. We know. Some people have certain skill sets and some people don't. I don't think Rice has it. I've watched him play for West Ham for years. Brilliant in terms of covering off, offensive players, cutting down the angles, putting pressure on you, not giving you a chance to turn. But when it comes to treading that ball in tight spaces, that incisive pass, it's not in the repertoire. I haven't seen it.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, I'm gonna say this actually on Xhaka. Like when Xhaka was at Arsenal, I'm like, why does he start every game, every week, every coach? But his last year when he was here, you're like, oh, so this is Xhaka that we bought that we haven't seen for the last 4 or 5 years, and then he goes to another team and doing brilliantly.
Yeah,
so
buying Leverkusen, man, he's doing really well out there.
Yeah. Gents, let's move on. So the last game of the weekend was Wolves at home to Newcastle, which finished Wolves 1, Newcastle 2. Early goal in the game, 36 minutes from Lemina. And then in the second half, goals came back from Fabian Schär and Harvey Barnes to win it.
The smash and grab in that second half.
Two shots from outside the box, by the way, which Arsenal really doesn't score. That's Arsenal's problem. We don't score from outside the box.
Newcastle in that first half did not look good at all.
No, they didn't.
They look so poor. And then as you know, the old saying is a game of two halves. That was a different team that came out in the second half. A different team that
Harvey Barnes' goal was special, actually.
Yeah.
I did watch that game. It was a game of two halves, you're right. And Wolves seem to can't get it right, actually. I don't know what their story is. They can't get it right. They need a few more players.
But
versus the new, he's a good footballer, but what we don't have is what we're missing is that's why we're chasing. What's his name from?
But Havertz is definitely a player that brings an attribute to the game that we've lacked. Physicality, running. It's just the finish that really is lacking. But he gets in good positions every game. He can distribute very well. He's very good with his feet in close control.
We don't have dynamic player. You need a Nico Williams type player, right? You need somebody who's going to turn the game on his head. We don't have that. Martinelli's supposed to be that player, but he hasn't been.
Forest is selling him, aren't they?
Huh?
Nico Williams.
Not Nico. You know what I'm talking about. The kid from Spain who dominated the
I know. It's just
dominated the Euros.
Nico used to play for Liverpool. Every time I hear it, I keep thinking, "Oh, what are you talking about?" Then,
No, but we don't have. Saka is a very good player, but he's a very good player. He's not gonna just turn the game on his head with something special, right? We're lacking offensively. We're struggling. Just getting the ball at the field, we're struggling.
Yeah.
You know,
But
Timber
hey,
has been
you know
Tony.
what?
People don't realize it's Tony. Timber has been brilliant. Go look at Timber's passing accuracy. It's awful.
Wow.
His last game was like 58%.
Well, he's got good competition in Calafiori because Calafiore's come on and he's looked dynamite when he comes on.
Yeah, but I mean, Timber defensively has been ridiculously good.
Yeah.
But when he has the ball to progress the ball over the field, his passing accuracy has been poor. Now, is it that we're not coming to the ball so he can get an angle to give the ball? I mean, we're not progressing the ball at the field.
Yeah.
I don't know what's
I
happening.
mean, that left-hand side with Declan Rice and Martinelli is messy. It's just not working the way it needs to do.
It's not working.
Anyway, guys, I'm going to crack on because I want to get us out of here. So Wolves lost to Newcastle. Newcastle smash and grab. That really completed the weekend's action. Let me bring up the table.
Yeah, but someone's saying California looks good when he came on. But here's the question for California, which is, he's going to start over Timber?
I think he can do. I actually think he's that good. I rank the kid extremely highly. I think it's a shootout between the two of them who will play most.
Or do you then switch out Ben White sometimes and put Timber on the right?
That could happen as well, yeah. Because, you know, look, Ben White is one of them guys that's playing every game.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's options. It's good options to have as well.
Marino's back in training, isn't he?
Still got a few weeks. I mean, he trains, but he obviously can't do anything with the shoulder. So it's, you know, just running and bike and stuff like that. But yeah, the shoulder is definitely not going to be ready for at least another.
I thought it was supposed to be out for a month, Tony. So isn't there a month end of this week?
Yeah. A couple of weeks, I think, still. So look, the table looks nice. Arsenal sitting in second. The big game this weekend, as you know, the top two. And when you look at it, you know, the goal difference isn't massive. There's 3 goals in it. Newcastle and Liverpool complete the top 4. And then the chasing pack includes Villa, Brighton, Forest, Chelsea, Brentford, Man United. No sign of Tottenham. So, yeah, you know, it's early days. It's early days, yeah. You know, but what you don't want to do is find yourself way behind the front runners if you want to be in that pack. You know, look, if we had lost to Tottenham and then lost to Man City this weekend, we would effectively have been 8 points behind Man City. As it stands now, the maximum we could be would be 5 points, which is still manageable.
Yeah.
But
you look at City's start. It's like
it's not manageable, Tony. It's
not
manageable. They don't lose after Christmas. They don't lose after Christmas, Tony.
You say that. That's one draw and a win at the Emirates.
No, you're right, but at the end of the day, you got to look at City and think, who are they going to drop points to? And if they don't drop points to you guys, who else is going to be able to take points away from them?
Neil, have they had an unbeaten season yet?
Do you know what? They're one team that's capable of having an unbeaten season.
They haven't. Let's be honest. They're not going to ever do it. I honestly don't see them being that team.
All right, okay. Do they need to have an unbeaten season? They've been winning the league.
They won it by 2 points, Neil.
They won it against us by 1 point 2 seasons.
Right. So it's not like it's not beyond the realms of impossibility that they're gonna drop more points this season. They're gonna drop.
But Tony, didn't we win 16 of like 19 or something in the last part of the season?
There you go. Yeah.
But we still didn't beat them. That's the problem.
Yeah, but the point we did actually beat them. We beat them in the season. But
but I'm saying we're talking about after December. After January 1st, the whole thing changed with them.
Yeah.
They don't lose after January 1st.
I could go on about the 2 seasons that we lost by a point. Yeah. The bottom line is City came strong when they needed to. Yeah,
Listen,
that's the problem.
listen.
That's the problem.
Arsenal are where we are, and we haven't got Martin Odegaard, we haven't got Mikel Merino. You know, two players who might, in a different world, might have made us the team on 4 out of 4 with 12 points. Man City are one player away from being not as effective as they normally
Tony,
are.
Tony. Man City played half the season last year without De Bruyne.
Yeah.
No, not that player. I'm talking about Haaland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
They
this year's
can
difficult because they
manage
have
without
Alvarez. They don't
De
have Alvarez,
Bruyne.
right? So they
Yeah.
don't have Alvarez.
But let's remember, they sold Alvarez. They didn't get another replacement in. They are one player away from not having a recognized striker to score the goals that they create.
Yeah, that's just true, but that's the only position. That's the only position.
City always find a way to score goals.
They find ways to score goals.
Even if Haaland's not on form, they will still score goals. They've got players.
Yeah, but that was last year. That was Alvarez. When Haaland didn't score, Alvarez was scoring.
That's true.
Yeah, and I know they get goals all over the pitch. All their players score, but let's not forget this same Arsenal team, which has lost nothing, scored record number of goals last season.
Well, Tony, just making City's argument because we do so without a center forward. So you're making City's argument, which anybody can play in there. Anybody can play in there. Right? We don't have a Haaland, and we came within 2 points of beating them. So
there you go.
No, there's when Gundogan came back, you're just like, okay, really, people? You have all these other players, and you add this player to your list. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. It's not. It's when are they going to drop points? And how many teams are they going to drop points to? And it's
like I said, Brentford gave people some hope from last week, right?
Yeah,
Brentford gave you hope to say, look, we're hard to score on, but we also give up chances. People don't realize that. We have a brilliant goalkeeper now, and he's showing his worth. But we gave up chance at Atlanta. We gave up chance against Villa. So it's not like we've been impregnable in terms of not giving up chances. City will take some of those chances, especially if it's Haaland.
City win the league in the second half of the season. Yeah. The runs they put together, they win it in the second half of the season.
And we lose it in the second half of the season. We lose it in the second half of the season.
And with the start that they've got now, if they carry on that for like another 3-4 games, it's going to be difficult to see anyone else beating them. They'd have to go through a serious poor run of games.
I think if we got a center forward, if we had a Sesko, we got to go anybody, Osimhen, if we got a center forward, I think we'd have beaten them this year because our defense is that strong.
Yeah,
but we don't have the outlet. So yeah.
Well, I'll see. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna finish with the quick rundown of next week's fixtures. This weekend's fixtures. I'll go Neil for you, and then Cranky, and I'll give mine. I haven't actually written mine down, so I'm going to do it off the top of my head. So West Ham at home to Chelsea, the afternoon kickoff. Neil,
give me a sec. I'm quickly looking it up because I just sent it out a little while ago. He says, "All right, so yeah, I put that as a draw."
Okay, Cranky.
Yeah, draw also 2-2.
I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea. Aston Villa at home to Wolves. Neil. Birmingham Derby.
2-0 Villa. 2-0 Villa.
2-1 Villa.
I'll join Neil on the 2-0 for Villa. Fulham at home to Newcastle. Neil.
3-1 Newcastle.
Okay. Cranky.
2-2.
That's a difficult one. 1-1. Okay, Leicester at home to Everton.
With the way both teams are playing, I see that as a 2-2 draw.
2-2.
2-1 to Leicester.
In that
Liverpool
game,
at home to Bournemouth.
After last week, I see us winning, but it's going to be a close 1-0 Liverpool. It'll be a close knit game.
3-1 Liverpool.
Oh wow.
3-0 Liverpool.
I hope you two are right and I'm wrong.
Southampton at home to Ipswich.
I put that as a draw.
Yeah, 1-1.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the same 1-1.
Southampton should have scored against Man U that penalty. They missed the penalty and that went south from there. Yeah.
Tottenham at home to Brentford.
Spurs got to bounce back. I reckon it'll be 1-0 to Spurs.
Cranky.
Why don't I have that game on my list? What the hell? I think Apollo missed this game. Wait, no. Oh, 3-1 Spurs. Sorry, my fault. 3-1 Spurs.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna join you on that one. A 3-1 to Spurs. Crystal Palace at home to Man United.
As much as I hate this, United 2-1.
2-1 United.
Oh man, I have a problem. I have not got a Crystal Palace result right in absolute ages. Every
Right.
time I
Get this
pick
one
them
right.
to win, they
Right,
lose.
yeah.
I'm gonna pick United to win because I think Crystal Palace will win.
Oh,
So I'm gonna go 2-1 United. Brighton at home to Nottingham Forest, Neil.
Brighton 2-0.
1-1. Nottingham Forest apart the bus and do what they did against Liverpool, but 1-1 this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna join you on that one, Cranky. 1-1. And then the last and final and most important fixture of the weekend, Neil.
2-2 draw.
Neil, Cranky.
We don't score 2 goals. 1-1 draw.
Yeah,
always a
I'm
We
gonna,
ain't got no forward to score the 2 goals.
I'll join you on the 1-1. Okay, thank you, gents. So let's just go into the chat very quickly. Cam Delves has gone with a 2-2. Welcome to the chat. Cam Emerson has put his results in, but unfortunately, Emerson, I didn't have the thing on, so I can't. But he's gone Villa for the win, Leicester for the win, Liverpool for the win, Ipswich for the win, Man United for the win, Brighton for the win, and everything else is a draw. Cam says we need to take our chances. Best chances falling to Martinelli means him fluffing his lines. I always thought of him as our Walcott, but despite Walcott's limitations, he was always a clutch player. Man City's last 2 opponents have got in behind them with ease on several occasions, but messed up the final pass or shot. If we aren't afraid to play a quick ball over the top, we can do that as well. DWT says we need a 2-1 win. How? I have no clue.
You know, in the last game he played Tony against Spurs, Martinelli was successful in 6 of 8 dribbles. The problem is the ball didn't end up in the most dangerous position, right? Havertz had one header, but that was the only one looked dangerous, right? 6 of 8 dribbles, successful attempts is excellent. What do you do with them?
Yeah, I mean, I could take apart what Martinelli does in a game and absolutely destroy him as a player. I've got to hope that come Sunday we see a different Martinelli and he's effective. The same can be said of Trossard. You know,
Trossard to me was awful against Spurs. At least Martinelli had won 10 or 15 duels against Spurs. People don't realize it was the best on the team in terms of number of duels and winning duels. He's playing good defensively, really helping out Timber, who's been excellent. The problem is offensively, we're not getting the output. I thought Trossard was poor against Spurs. I know people were talking about Trossard gets an 8. 8 what? 8 turnover? He ain't getting no 8. He wasn't good. He's brilliant as a substitute. He's not a starter.
Yeah. So, guys, that's the end of our show. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. Any last comments, Neil?
Yeah, hopefully you guys will draw and we get a win and we close that gap.
Okay, Cranky.
Neil, you're not encouraging us, Neil.
Okay.
Tell us you want us to win so City doesn't run away from the field and you will catch us. When you can beat us, you can catch us when you beat us. How about that?
Yeah. No, seriously, I do want you lot to take points from City because City need to drop points.
They need to drop points, yeah.
I
They beat us.
think
It's
everybody
trouble.
in the league wants us to do that because it will just give teams the hope that, you know, look, the league isn't just going to be a runaway league.
Yeah.
If nobody takes points off City, it kind of destroys everybody's, you know, ability to think that, you know what, can somebody give them a run for the money this season?
When you look at the years, the league is a one-team league. Yeah, everybody else is playing for second, third, and fourth. Yeah.
The problem is that one team is not winning the Champions League, which is a problem. They let us down in Europe. They've only won one over the last, God knows how many Peppers played.
No, you're right. You're right. But the thing is, I want that form to happen in the league as well. Give everybody else a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't have no Real Madrid in our league.
Yeah, that's what we need. That's what we
But
need.
I totally agree with you, Neil. I mean, the fact of the matter is we need to not just draw with them. We need to beat them on
Yeah,
Sunday.
you need to beat them. You do.
We need to beat them. We need to beat
Yeah.
them. And don't go park the bus like we did last time. We're not a Sam Allardyce team. We're
Do you
not
know
in the
what,
bucket
who
business.
do
We're not in
they
the bus
use
business.
it?
We drive Lamborghinis and Ferraris and Maybachs. We don't drive buses.
I feel sorry for whoever plays City after that game, because if you guys beat them, they're going to take it out on the next team.
Yeah, well, who's the next team? It's not us. Because
It's
we
not
beat them.
us. It's not us. So it's not us. So that's fine.
Yeah, no, we need to beat them. We need to beat them.
yeah, you do. You do need to beat them.
So here's a little comparison, some stats. I know you guys can't see it, but it basically shows the comparison between Edison and Raya. And Raya is dominating in the most of the categories. You see the greens.
So I'll say this. I was never a Raya basher, frankly. I was so glad to replace Ramsdale because Tony, I used to talk about this a lot, which is he makes an error every game. We just don't get punished for them. Now Arteta saw that and say, you know what, I can't afford you because at some point you're going to let me down the worst of times. And even though he's a good goalkeeper, I think Raya started off nervous because competition does that to you. PK make a mistake. Now he knows his team. He's showing himself to be ridiculous in the goal. That save against Atalanta has to be one of the better saves ever. Because the ball was headed in the corner after the penalty, which is taken in the other corner. That's a ridiculous save.
Yeah, amazing. So, guys, I'm going to finish off. Apollo's asked me to just mention very quickly, I will be at Wembley tomorrow. We have a massive fight. Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois. I think Anthony Joshua will knock out Daniel Dubois in the first 6 rounds. Apollo.
Wow.
Neil.
What wasn't... Go ahead, Neil.
To be honest, right, I've got nothing against you guys, but I think for me, I'd rather see Dubois win, because I'm just fed up with guys who've got to the top, wasted opportunities, not done anything. Give somebody else a chance, man. Give it. But I don't. To be honest, I don't think Dubois is good enough.
Wait. Who gave Usyk his best fight? Who gave Usyk his best fight?
AJ.
Yeah,
AJ?
Yeah.
Who had him beaten when the referee saved him?
Oh, that was Dubois, isn't it?
He had him beaten until the referee saved him. That fight was over. Done.
But
That
what happened
punch, not the win out of him, he was
after
done.
that, though?
Huh?
What happened after that?
No, but I'm saying the fight was over.
Yeah.
The referee saved Usyk. He hasn't Usyk hasn't come close to losing to, well, I think Fury was beating him at one point until he got too cocky. And he beat Joshua easily to me twice. So I think Dubois is underrated. He does quit though, which is the concern I have.
Yeah.
But he can beat Joshua.
I don't think it's going to come down to an opportunity to quit. I think it's going to be comatose on the floor, unable to see, unable to communicate. Like,
so what if I explain from Joshua? Okay, you know the old Joshua was one who come in and take you out. The new Joshua doesn't want to get hit. After Ruiz, he doesn't want to get hit.
Last fight.
Look at his last 3 fights, brother.
Yeah.
He's hitting like he want to knock people out.
And by the way, I didn't say Jamaica. The saying, "Dopey no over frightened."
Isn't it? See it there.
When has he met somebody in the last 3 fights who gonna give him back what he gives? Huh? When he gonna meet somebody in the last 3 fights, give back what he gives?
To be honest,
when he meets an equal opponent, Joshua doesn't produce. Not saying he's not gonna win, but when he meets somebody who's competitive, really competitive, he struggles.
Yeah, I agree with Cam. This is a bad style matchup for Dubois. Gentlemen, I'm leaving it there. I'm getting the hell out of here.
All right.
It's been great to see you guys as always.
Yeah,
Have
good
a
as
great
always.
time. Have a great day out in you in New York right now, Cranky?
Yes, I'm in New York. Yes.
Okay, I'd like to say good things that potentially for the Giants, but yeah, looking pretty.
We're awful. The Jets won last night though, so I'm a bandwagonist. If you're
Okay.
winning in New York, I'm on your side. I'm not following my other team that I support. You gotta go. You gotta go.
That's
Jets won last night. They're looking good.
Outrageous.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Can't
You gotta
jump
go.
From the Giants to the Jets.
Giants
That's
are
like going from
awful.
Arsenal to Tottenham.
No. That's a different rivalry.
No, you can't have that.
It's a different
I
rivalry. It's a
know
different rivalry. No.
Giants
no,
and Jets
no.
can't mix. No
Jets haven't won the
way,
Super
no
Bowl
way.
since 1969. I am on the Jets side. They look good.
All right, take care,
All right.
guys.
All
All
right.
right, guys, have a good one.
All right,
Speak
take care.
Next week.
later.